There we go. Better lighting. Hello everyone, this is the second episode here as we break down, peel back the layers of the Now Pursuit for just the purpose of laying out our heart on why we created this channel / ministry. And it's not all about RV life, so in case you haven't caught that yet. That is a result of living in the now through faith, but it does not have to be the result for everyone. So the last video we did talk about, we were not called to just be alive. We were not created to just be alive. We were created to live. Jesus died for us so that we may have a life and life more abundantly. That is me totally paraphrasing that verse there. But he literally died for us to be able to have a rich and satisfying life. And here at the Now Pursuit, we're inviting you into a space that basically says, we get to live our life, however that looks like for you. And this second episode here is all about how. How do we get to live? How do we get to live aside from just breathing and waking up and just doing our day? Well, living in the intentionality of pursuing God daily. That is what living in faith, living in the now is all about. Intentionally pursuing God daily. For us, over the course of 10 years, we have learned and applied what I'm talking to you about. We have literally learned how to pursue God daily, and it's not been easy. Not gonna say it's gonna be, but it is so much more fulfilling. You live on purpose, for purpose, intentionally, daily. I want to give you an example based off of our journey, and I'm going to tie in the RV because it's the most recent. We have a lot of stories we can share with you, but one of the ones that comes to mind is when we were looking for our RV. So another bug. We were looking for our RV. So what happened was we found an RV that we absolutely loved. It was a 37-foot fifth wheel. It had a full bunkhouse in the front, 4 bunk beds, and my older girls, they were like, we absolutely want our own personal space. The only way we can give that to them, there was like a cabinet per bunk. So we were like, perfect, that's their own personal space, right? And we loved it. So we started tracking this RV. We're like, this is the one. It was in Illinois, but we didn't have a truck yet. And so we were like, God, we know this is the one. Like, you showed it to us. I'm like, literally just, my heart was in it. I was like, this is the one. But we didn't have a truck, so we couldn't pick it up. And literally we prayed. So another whole other story is how we got the truck, but we did end up getting a truck. And when we got that truck that weekend, when we were deciding, okay, now let's, try and link up with this dealership and get the RV says it's sold. Now, I've been tracking this RV almost every day to every other day, and I know it was that weekend that it sold. I was in tears. I was like, God, I don't understand why. This was it. You've been holding it. It was like, I think a whole month, that it didn't sell, that we were like looking after it, looking for a truck. And it didn't work out. And I was pretty devastated. And I'm sharing the story with you because what ends up happening is we end up finding another RV, same layout in Kansas instead. And we were able to, even though the entire process wasn't pretty, like every day we weren't like smiling and happy and all this stuff, we had God's peace here. We had God's joy here. And even if we felt frustrated or irritated, we always came back to that center place of like, Lord, I can trust you. Even in our doubts of trusting him, in moments of that, because we were cultivating our relationship with him and we would come to him daily, we always came back to that center place of saying, okay, God, I can trust you. And in that, we were living one of the biggest adventures of our life. This is a big deal, you guys, like not moving into a house, but moving into an RV, not knowing if we're going to like it, not having enough money to pay for it in full. It was a huge deal. And so this was one of the biggest leaps of faith that we've ever done, Angelo and myself. And the best way that I can explain it was that life with God is an adventure when we pursue Him daily, when we're intentional about our pursuit to Him. And I can share with you in my marriage, in my motherhood, in my relationships, and my self-worth, like so many different areas of my life, as I pursued Him wholeheartedly, it came to a point where I learned how to do it daily. And in that, I'm not just alive. Like, I'm living on purpose, for a purpose. And in moments where it feels really hard and difficult, I now know how to come back to Him in a way that says, okay, God, I can trust you. And through this whole journey, so just continuing with that story, we ended up getting our first RV, and we end up finding out it has water damage, which you would think, oh my gosh, like that sucks. But because due to the water damage, we met destiny friends, like friends who we're gonna have for life because of the whole situation of why we're moving around so much, all these things. And we even learned how to trust God even deeper and even more. And it was literally like God's hand on it. Like I don't think He caused the water damage, but I do believe that He allowed us to find this RV because it also then allowed us to get this RV, which we currently have, because we traveled to Kansas, and that's a whole nother story too, and got to trade it out, and that was all God as well, the way that worked out. But all in all, I would like to encourage you to be intentional. So living in the now through faith, the in part of it is like how are you living? What are you living for? Like, what are you coming to? What are you relying on? What are you dependent on? Because it could literally be anything, right? Like, there's so many different coping mechanisms. There's so many different habits that we create in order to like make our feelings feel the way we want it to feel. You know what I mean? And with God, the whole life with Jesus, walking alongside Him, and Holy Spirit as your best friend, like, it is so adventurous and it's so much fun. Like, if I look at the grand scheme of like how over time I've like learned to like love Jesus so much, it was in those hard spots that He like showed up. And it might have not been like overnight showing up, but because I pursued Him like wholeheartedly, and even when it wasn't easy, and then even in moments that everything felt good and I still praised Him, I saw the results of it. And even before I saw the results of it, like say my prayers being answered, I was able to like live in the now. Like I was able to live daily. I still am. And so I'm encouraging you in that, that living, that the now pursuit is just all about really encouraging, inspiring, and equipping you to seek God in the now. So it's living in the now through faith, which we'll get to all of those, like, you know, because I'm breaking it down, but I'm just putting different like layers of where our heart was when we created this. And one of the results of us living in the now through faith was getting this RV, traveling and doing the things that we never thought we'd actually end up doing, but we are. And but that doesn't mean that you have to. It means that where you are, wherever you're living, however your living circumstances look like, relationally, financially, however, that you get to tap into being like in a position, in a mindset, in a heart position of like so much gratitude and so much peace and so much joy, even in the hard spots in life. And that when it is hard and difficult, you do feel comforted because God is a real God and He's close to us. He's not a faraway God that does not want a relationship. He's all about relationships. So yeah, I'm trying to like cut these videos shorter because I know I'm right now, but I'm like 10 minutes, come on, 10 minutes max. So anyways, so I'm gonna stop there. I'm excited to share with you episode 3, which is gonna be the now and what that's about. But living is really like the last video, all about living. We're not created just to be alive, but we're created to live. And in is, how do we do that? We intentionally pursue God daily. So thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here with me, and I absolutely hope that this landed for you. Please put the little notification bell on, just to get future videos, you know, future content. We do have other videos that we are putting on our channel, not just, you know, this series. So I hope that you feel encouraged, inspired, and equipped in areas of faith, family, and RV fun. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. I gotta go. Well, I don't have to go, but I don't want you to be watching forever. I will talk to you soon. See you at the next video.